Okay. Hopefully you got your coffee cups, whatever you're drinking, tea, water, whatever. Hopefully you got it in hand. Let's talk about Tekken 8 CBT. And I don't mean Capcom Pro Tour. I said CBT, closed beta test. Okay, for those that didn't catch that. I believe that they did a good job this time around. I do like the changes that they made to the heat gauge. It didn't feel as egregious as the last time where everyone's just popping it with Jin doing Omen stance, smashing stuff out. It didn't mean people weren't doing it this beta, but it wasn't as egregious, right? It wasn't as crazy. It did feel like Heat had more going for it this time. Also, if I recall correctly, in the last network test, you couldn't regain the recoverable health, the chip damaged health with heat engagers. Now when you pop a heat engage move, so like for example Jin 442, Azucena, was it down back 3, and they go into the auto dash, you get your life back, which I think that's actually a good change if it wasn't in the previous one, so correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments. But it was really good to see that they did that. It definitely made the game feel a little bit more strategic. I do understand people's sentiment on the heat activation moves, like having armor and it's kind of like forces are 50-50. I kind of didn't really mind that because I think already Tekken in some cases can be kind of spam heavy and you only get one per round, so I don't really mind that you kind of have that. Obviously you have the power crushes and things like that, but I like the idea of, all right, you guys are mashing on me, ooh, all right, chill out. You know what I mean? It makes people think. Like, I like that it forces, like, you know, it makes you think about it, you know. But overall, despite that, it did feel a little bit more strategic in the sense that, you know, if I want to get my life back, okay, I can look for whiff punish and do this, or get a combo started and then do this and then get the heat dash, da. So I really didn't mind that. I really didn't mind it. It did feel a lot better to play overall, in my opinion. The backdash improvement was good. Obviously, it's not like previous Tekkens where your character is like flying so far back away from the opponent. But I thought it was okay for the most part. Mostly because the previous beta was not very good in that regard, and sidesteps felt stronger. Like, there's a lot to be said about this game where they want people to fight. They want you to kind of stay here and use more of your sidestep. So it felt more like, it feels to me more like Tekken 8, like they've been putting more emphasis on sidestepping as opposed to backwards movement for whiffs. So I don't mind that as a new way to play. I'm not gonna sit and tell you I'm the best Tekken player or a super duper Tekken pro. I've had my experience with Tekken. I've been playing the series for a long time, competitively and not competitively, right? But I do like them. I like the emphasis more on sidestepping as opposed to backdashing. Not that I don't mind backwards mobility, but that's one of the conversation itself. But it's better now with the distance that you get. I think people who play Tekken primarily wanted backdashes to clear things out. So I don't know. It felt more like in previous Tekkens, especially Tekken 7, like the backdash canceling. Most of the backdashes before you canceled it had more range. Whereas to this one, it feels like you have to kind of complete your backdash and then go for another, which I think that's a tad bit better. And I'll tell you why. I know some people that play Tekken will probably disagree because they're gonna be like, well, why? I mean, why would you like that? I think that you still need to be open to getting hit somewhere. It doesn't mean that you don't get hit in previous Tekkens for trying to backdash cancel too quickly or doing it too much. But I do think that having to complete the backdash at least 70% and then going into another one leaves you more vulnerable to get hit somewhere. So I think it's okay. Like, you can have it, but there should still be an opening. So I don't think that that's too bad, because that's what it seems like to me from a design philosophy standpoint. That's just me. Otherwise, sidestepping feels fantastic. Backdashes seem pretty good for the most part.
How you doing?
Nothing wrong with that.
Never forget about that, because that's all we got.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything too wrong with that personally. Character balance, I can't really say too much. It's a demo. I'm not expecting them to have the characters perfectly balanced in this demo. Game comes out in January. There's plenty of time for them to fix stuff, so I'm not really gonna harp on them too much for that. It is what it is. It's a demo, right? Combos, they feel shorter. Wall character doesn't seem too crazy. I don't know. I kind of like this. I like this current direction, right? And there is something in particular. Now that I'm talking about damage, there's one thing in particular that really got me at this demo, and I think it's a good thing. And I think others might not. But to quickly talk about it, I like the new direction in terms of combo damage and combo potential, in addition to poking. And you're probably like, well, all right, dude, what do you mean? It's still typical Tekken combos. What's the big deal now? I like that what they did this time around, from what I can tell, they added more natural combos, more like 2-piece strings that are natural. And I think that's their way of helping newer players out, because their easy mode control scheme is just bad. They haven't fixed it. It's not gonna get, I think that's not gonna get any better. It feels more like a primer of what you should be doing with your character, as opposed to like a modern control scheme. You know what I mean? Even though it has one button auto combo that you can just keep pressing, it's still not, I don't think it's as intuitive. I think, personal opinion, I don't think Tekken can really do that. I don't think Tekken can have simple controls. I think the only way they can have simple controls is having like a one button sidestep, which I still think would be a good thing for helping newer players out. But I think legacy players will probably still be upset because it takes away the skill barrier, which I have words for that in a bit. But I don't think their easy mode control scheme is good at all. But I think them adding the natural combos helps newer players understand that they can do damage without launching an opponent. So I think it takes away the stress of, man, I can't launch them, to, okay, if I hit you with this, I'll do damage. That's pretty good. So I think that was their way of trying to help newer players play Tekken. I also think it helps the footsie game and makes launches a little bit more meaningful. Not that launches weren't meaningful before, especially for whiff punishing or on block punishing. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is, like, I hit you with this, it's like Hwarang down 3-4, or like when you hit with a down forward 1-2, or you hit with jabs. It was a guaranteed combo that does only so much damage. But I like that the general poking damage does feel good. In addition to that, I feel like what they did this time around also was the hit advantage feels like it's a lot more. So when you have your turn, it's harder for them to contest. I think that's good. I think one of the few things in Tekken that would always throw me off is like, all right, I'm at hit advantage, hop kick. It's like, all right. And then it's like, well, you shouldn't have did that. You know, but this game, it feels like hit advantage does feel good. It feels more like it should. I've always felt like Tekken had issues with hit advantages. I know long-time Tekken mains will say, no, that's not the case. It's your fault for getting hit by hop kick. You should have did this. I get it. But I do feel like having hit advantages be more meaningful is pretty good. Now, one change that I think a lot of people were a little confused about, and myself included, was generic lows are launch punishable. So like generic down 4, not a command down 4, is like punishable. Like it's launch punishable. Like it's like -15, -16, somewhere in that ballpark. And I think that part threw off a lot of people. And I think it's both good and bad. I think it's good because of the new system. Like, it adds another layer of risk reward, because you'll get a lot of people, I think it's another new player trait, right? Where they felt like, well, the lows, chipping lows are really good, and like there's no major detriment to them. So doing like 8 or 9 damage, and then, you know, while you block it, now you lift them. I think they were just testing out the waters to see the reception. But at the same time, I feel like it's also to help newer players take advantage of like blocking lows. You know, oh, I blocked a generic low, cool, now I get to launch you. Will it stay in the full game? I don't know. If it does, it's gonna be really good for like legacy players, because, you know, at the later portions of the game, a chipping low that someone would go for is now you're about to get lifted and like lose the game. I think it just, I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's good and bad. Like, it means you'll have to use your command lows more, so like your down back force, your, you know, your hell sweeps and stuff like that. Not that hell sweep isn't already negative as hell on block, but like you'll have to not use generic lows to end the game, because it's putting yourself in a 50-50. Like, I guess their notion for it from a at least from a balance standpoint is if you're gonna do a chipping low, a generic move, and it's guess for game on that, now I can turn the tide and turn it back into my favor. So if you use your generic, you'll lose for it. If you use a command, you'll just eat a wall rising move. So it's a weird change, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I feel like with the current heat system in play, I could see why they'd want to do that, because all the chip damage that you can do as it is. So it's like all this, you're gonna get all this chip damage attacking your opponent. So what do they have if they block a chipping low? Nothing. They just get a wall standing 4/4 after all the damage you did to them on block. So I get it. I get it. I know a lot of the old Tekken heads are like, WTF, bro. But we'll see. There's no telling. I think when you consider the chip damage in the game, I think it's okay. So that's just me. I think that's mostly it in terms of helping new players. I do think that it is good to help new players. Let me quickly touch base with online. I think the online for the game is a lot better by a milestone. But, well, I guess I should talk about the Battle Hub too, right? Online, I think, was pretty good. The Battle Hub system was good too. Clearly, they're touching base with Street Fighter. The Xbox Live avatars, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not particularly feeling the Xbox Live avatars, but it does bring me back to the Xbox 360 days. So I give it, it's like a 50-50. Now, yeah, the online for the most part is good. I do think that they still have a ways to go. I don't know if this game will be good to launch in January, but I think they're gonna do it anyway because of TWT. But I think they should delay the game. But even then, like, I think the game just doesn't handle Wi-Fi connections good, and Tekken 7 didn't either. And I know what you guys are thinking. Why would you want to play Wi-Fi, people? Trust me. Listen, if you're watching this video and you play on Wi-Fi, you should know better. I get it. You might not have a choice. Man, they have those electrical socket things. Get that shit popping. Don't be out here playing on Wi-Fi, please. Like, it's really, really bad. It sours the experience. Like, no one's a winner there. But I definitely don't think the rollback is as good as it could be. But when the game was on a good connection, oh, it's fantastic. You know what I mean? It is fantastic when it's working. Like, a good connection feels mad good to play the game on. Like, 1000%. You know? It's just online play it's good when it's good, and when it's bad, it's awful. It's awful. I did some regional testing, and it's okay. Playing NA to EU is kind of playable. It's not that it's bad, but like, it's playable. But like, when it gets bad, it is awful. But it could be better. How does it stack up for Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, DNF Duel? It's at least better than MK1. If not, it's close. If not, they're pretty neck and neck. I just think it could be better. That's one thinking. They might end up delaying the game at least a month, but we'll see. Now how much of an impact Tekken 8 is gonna have on the community that plays Tekken? Hard to say. I feel like from what I've seen so far, there's it's a mixed bag. But we'll just have to see what happens. So at the end of the day, I do think Tekken 8 CBT was pretty good. I think it's going in the right direction. I do hope that Namco can fix a lot of its issues, including some legacy bloat, but I doubt that's going to happen. So with that being said, that's going to do it here for this video. Talk to me in the comments below. Tell me how you guys are feeling about Tekken 8 CBT. Did you guys have fun? Who would you play? Talk to me in the comments. Let me know. Anyhow, I'm going to get up out of here, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.